Hi there, I'm Donna Weiss with another Nice Work Manager hands-on video. Here's a couple of quick questions for you. How do you know that all the items handled by your team are actually processed correctly? How do you know if your employees are complying with correct procedures, not skipping vital steps in the process, and making sure that all the data is accurate? These are important questions because mistakes cost money. If you're handling a billing dispute and get the wrong amount, or paying an insurance claim without checking the customer's status and past claims, you could be losing money. These are simple examples, but the point is that unintended mistakes can cost you and can lead to customer satisfaction issues. Creating the right workflow for your back office processes can go a long way toward ensuring adherence to your well-thought-out policies and procedures. This way, work is completed accurately and efficiently. With Nice Work Manager, you predefine business processes and provide checklists that require your teams to follow the correct procedures. You can also leverage automation within workflows to reduce manual steps and speed up processes. Let's take a look. So, I'd like to show you the designer tool for Nice Work Manager. This is where you design your workflows. Here's a view of a very simple workflow. Workflows can be simple with just a few steps to much more complex. You can see within a workflow, here's a very simple example, that there are multiple steps. If I click in this processing step, I can have mandatory tasks. These tasks, which have a check mark in the box, are things that your analysts or processors or agents, your employees, must do and must attest to doing before they move on to the next step. So these are manual tasks. The other tasks are things that could be used as guidance. For example, when you're processing a billing dispute, you might not have to, but you may want to contact the customer. Along the way, when you move from step to step, we call them transitions. Here is a transition. Within a transition, there's many things that you can configure as well. In this one, we have a mandatory note. This icon stands for a note. So if you've decided that you're going to decline the dispute, you absolutely must add some notations into the Work Manager. Another item is marking a barrier, which is also called 4i review. Here, prior to moving on to the next step and actually declining the dispute, you may need somebody else in your organization to review it. So I have required at least 4 distinct users. Now that's quite a bit, so maybe we'll lower it and make it just 2 users. So again, before I move, me as employee within the organization, and say I'm absolutely declining this dispute and letting the customer know, somebody else will have to review it as well. Another action is to escalate to a supervisor. These things typically happen when you deal with deadlines. An entire workflow process or a single step within the process can have deadlines. Deadlines can be measured in minutes, hours, or days. In this example, we have a deadline after 2 days. So a supervisor that this work has been escalated to must complete it within 2 days. The nice thing is that the solution can include your business calendar. So you can upload your business calendar, and perhaps you have a holiday on Monday and the work starts on Friday. The calendar doesn't really end until Tuesday. You have all day Friday and then Tuesday to complete it. So the solution is smart enough to know that nobody works, hopefully, on Saturdays and Sundays, and Monday is a holiday off. Another thing that can happen within the workflow is that you can send email notifications prior to the deadline happening. This again can be days, hours, or even minutes before the deadline occurs. And lastly, we have a lot of customers that use our solution to actually create a reminder that will pop up on the screen. Perhaps, let's do maybe 2 hours before the deadline. All of this will ensure you meet your SLAs and that your customer satisfaction is high. Here's a more complex workflow, and you can see in here that there are many more steps along the way. Here's a simple step that's about missing information. However, what you can require that prior to moving from one step to another, that anytime something is under review and not all of the information is available, that they absolutely must go through a step. This will ensure what we talked about earlier, avoiding mistakes. If there's any information missing, it must be taken into account early on in the process and not toward the tail end. Avoiding mistakes early is what saves you time and money. going to go back to this billing dispute we spoke about, and I just want to show you how easy it is for a business user to create workflows or to change your workflow process. As I showed you before, these are steps along the path of the work process. I can very simply click and drag and add a new step along the way. I can move things around a little bit. It's all very easy for a business user to do. Click, drag and drop, and your workflow processes, your internal policies, and your procedures are done. Implementing your policies and procedures and making sure that all the work, all of the relevant information is done early will avoid mistakes. So as you've seen, workflow is absolutely essential for any back office. Whether mandatory business processes are enforced or flexible processes are leveraged to guide employees, formulating your workflow and making sure your employees follow it can eliminate mistakes, save you time and money, and dramatically improve your efficiency. Thanks for watching.